Everybody's keeping well. So we have the Irish Businesses Against Litter. They do this every year, a survey, or I suppose a report you could call it too. They cover every county town, so take for example Cavan Town, Monaghan Town. And they cover it to see how littered it is to European standards. So is it moderately littered, heavily littered? Heavily littered is obviously the worst. Moderately littered is it was the last, we were second last. And unfortunately Cavan isn't that. Along with I think Monaghan is in with it, along with it. I know Mullin's in its clean status. I didn't want to admit Mullen. I actually forgot there for a second. What's common, it remains moderately, but anyway, what's common is obviously little too. Who cares about what's common? There's not leaving the place. But yeah, particularly again, as it says in Northern Soundhill and his White Star area, where the old White Star pub was beside Tesco and the other Tesco too. And then behind that, there's lots of cigarette butts and there's loads of beer bottles just thrown in underneath things and things like that. And no, through no fault of the tidy towns. I'm not blaming the tidy towns out. The Cavan tidy towns I often see them when I'm in the town. They're doing atrocious work. They're doing more than the county council, and they'll be totally fair. They're doing more, and it's not fair when the tidy towns not getting anything for it. And they're doing all the hard work, and the county council. The manpower in the Cavan Town Council, for example, is very limited than what it was back in the day. It was 17. It was a lot of men. Let's put it that way. It was a lot of men. The council barely there's any now. It's all left to the tidy towns and voluntary people to do it. And that's what we pay our local authorities to do. But again, as I said many times, and I said 100 million times, that we need more county council men on the roads across Cavan. Not in just, this is only for Cavan Town, they only survey Cavan Town. But across County Cavan, in every town and every village, we need extra county council men. But we do need that. We really do need that in the county towns, particularly in Cavan Town too, because the tidy towns, again, it's all right to do a bit. But again, the tidy towns in Cavan Town are doing more than a bit, and you credit them. It's a credit to them. Fair play to every one of them. They do great work, and again, they're doing their best with what they have. But at the end of the day, it boils down to the local authorities really have to step up to the plate and do a bit more. Because again, the local authorities, we pay them for a reason, I suppose too. It's the same in every local town, not just generally Cavan, but in every county, the local authorities do have a role to play, along with the tidy towns. Tidy towns could do a bit, but again, we don't expect them to do. I'm sure everybody will agree. We don't expect them to do everything. So obviously, what's common? So where is that? I have to go to my computer now because I just checked out. So the majority of cities. So Dublin City Centre, Cork City Centre, Galway City Centre, were litter black spots, which means it's very bad, terribly bad. It's the worst in 10 years in these areas. And obviously due to lockdowns and things like that, obviously the county councils, the majority county councils, the litter services, things, the litter ones kept working majority of the time. But the only men on the roads, for a long time, you were out for about 3 or 4 months. Particularly in Cavan, I remember 3 or 4 months there wasn't barely anything done in the county council. There was very little done during the first lockdown. There was very little done, and the rubbish did pile up. And I will admit, the rubbish did pile up because there wasn't anybody there. They were only emptying bins. They were only emptying bins on the public street. They weren't lifting any litter or anything like that. And obviously that did affect a lot, but thankfully it has improved. But again, I don't blame Dublin City Council or anything. I'm sure they're doing the best. Every time I was in Dublin, the people in the county council up there, the city council, may I say, they're doing their best. They're doing the best with what they have, and I'm not blaming them at all. But it's the people at the top, it's the higher ups in the county councils. And again, businesses too have to play their part too, and helping out McDonald's and things like that, KFC, because the majority litter is that, McDonald's meals and things like that. Maybe not in town centres, but it's still adds up to it. There's still a role for them to play. And the same with pubs and things outside pubs. If there's fight butts on the streets and things like that, the pubs are it's basically their responsibility if it's outside the doors to clean it up. And to do their bit for the community above all else, and not have the community do it. And I know it might seem very harsh in demonising the county councils and things like that. But it's just it's being fair. I don't mind tidy towns doing a lot. Again, I do tidy towns work every day of my life. Apart from only one day this year, I would believe on Cavan Day I took off. But again, I just say it straight. It's all right for the tidy towns to do a bit, maybe a road or two or whatever. Plant a few flowers and things. That's 100%. But again, it does fall to the local authorities to do their bit, for the community as they pay to do. Again, I'm sure that I say Dublin City Council and Cavan County Council, they're doing their very best with what they have, and I will admit that. But again, there needs to be more resources. Instead of going to the county councillors and the TDs, should be going to the men on the road and for equipment and for more budget and more men, to get more men on the roads to keep the county tidy. But again, the road in the city is heavily littered and things like that. So clean to European standards. Portlaoise was the most cleanest, so well done to Portlaoise. Carlow, Lockfoot did them well. Waterford City Centre, apart from Waterford City Centre too, and Galway City Centre actually was wrong. 19 to it's hard to remember. Kilkenny's always it's 22 in the league, but moderately little this Cavan thing in 26, which is upsetting. And would you believe Mulholland's above us? Like it's that's bad. I'm not gonna lie. But again, it's not that bad what Cavan is, but again, it is. It's hard to stomach that Cavan is that low. I will be totally honest with you. But again, as I say, we need a new plan. We do need a new plan of action in County Cavan. We need to put our shoulders to the wheel, if that makes any sense. We need to start taking things seriously. Again, when it comes to finding people and making people clean up after them, making them do community service. If somebody throws a bit of litter, we have to be just throw the book at them. Literally, be so strict with them that nobody put the fear of God into people not to do it. And that's how you stop them, because again, the system at the moment is just like a banana republic system. Well, it takes years to go to court. If the dispute the fine, it takes eons to go to court. And then the judge will be like, what the hell are you bringing these people up for, and then let them go. That's usually the majority of it. And then they do it the next day. It's the same with the League of Dublin. They get caught. God knows, sometimes they could get fined, sometimes they just throw away the fine. And then the next day they do it again. And then they do it in another county, and then they do it in another county. Again, the only way these people are going to listen if you do harsh punishments, make them clean up roads from day in, day out. Make them go and clean it up every Saturday, every Sunday, at the crack of dawn to the crack of night. Make them walk or two, make them suffer, really, make them suffer. And that's the only way. Putting the fear of God into that they will face retaliation, that the community will make them pay for it. Again, that's what we should do. We shouldn't be saying to people, we shouldn't be just, asking people and things. So we have to action. We have to meet action. And again, making them clean up after themselves, it might teach them a bit of a lesson. And again, having a few people maybe poke a bit of fun at them and maybe say you're a disgrace to this country and to this society. Maybe a good town off is that what they need too. But again, if you give people a good town off, like I give many people a good town off, a little one, and usually I get people complaining about it. Like, give them a good town off, because that's the only way they're going to listen, if you give them a good town off. And that's just putting it straight. But it is upsetting. We'll go through it again. Sorry, it's in the cleaners. I just seen it there. So, Portlaoise, Lips, Ennis. I just want to give credit. I do follow Ennis Tidy Towns on Twitter, and they do great work down in Ennis. I really do say that, and especially with the flowers pollination, things like that. They're doing great work. Arklow, Dunleary. Kilkenny, I meant to say Kilkenny was in 6th, but Kilkenny's always been a clean town. The Kelly Celts over there does a lot. I will put them there. I will give them that. For my Ness. It's unfortunate the Cavan isn't there. Cavan was in a better position last year, but again, with the lockdown, I do think it got worse. To be totally honest, I do think it got worse. And again, we do need to put our shoulders to the wheel, and I can't express that enough, that we do need to put our shoulders to the wheel. And do what's expected of us. And I do say to members of the public, even to businesses in Cavan Town, or even anywhere in the county, in the country, if you see a bit of litter outside your business and you throw it into your bin, if you're Westwood or a pub or anything like that, and you come across 5 butts outside your Westwood or pub, clean them up, put them into the bin, do a bit for the community, because again, everybody has a role to play in this, along with the local authorities, along with tidy towns, along with businesses, along with community groups, GEA groups and things like that. They all have to work together for a common goal. Obviously subsidised by the local authority. The community shouldn't have to take it out of their own pocket to pay for it. Should be up to the local authorities to fund them and to make sure they're properly equipped with equipment for whatever they need. And whatever resources they require, if they need a lorry, if they need a truck or whatever, that the resources are there and there's no dispute about getting the money for them. Again, I kind of ranted a bit, but that's how you do it. That's the way I see it. If you have good manpower on the street, if you're heavy present, if you're strict and you enforce the laws to the T, and you make people think about not breaking this law. That's how you get people. You say to people, put the fear of God. I know some people might say that's the wrong thing to do, but that's the only way. Because we do feel the wrath of God, that we will face consequences when we die. We will face consequences for action. It's the same here. Like, we feel, if we murdered somebody in cold blood in the morning, take for example, we will go to prison. Hopefully, if it was like the country we live in now, I don't know, we'd probably get a medal for it. But if you did, the proper thing would be to set the prison for a long, long time, never get out again. That's the proper reaction. That's the proper solution. But yeah, no, that's what the majority of the time is the consequences, because you do face consequences for your action. But anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe more and bye.